Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a very funny video for you here today to get you into the Christmas spirit. This is absolutely hilarious. Modern women are getting rejected by dudes, and they are absolutely sick of it. Got a few clips that I'll be sharing here today. As always, guys, don't forget to leave your own thoughts and your comments. And let's jump right into the video.
Well, I just got rejected by a guy, and this is the second time it's happened this year. You guys know that I'm looking for a man to spoil rotten, okay? And just let me know, be honest, if I overdid it a little too much.
Women like to play these games, by the way, guys, when they record videos. You know, oh, I'm just like looking for a nice man who I can spoil. But what modern women fail to tell you is that they only want to spoil a particular kind of man, right? She doesn't want any average dude to spoil and have a relationship with. She has a bunch of invisible requirements that she refuses to mention on these videos, and she just pretends like she is the victim who is alone.
You guys know that I'm looking for a man to spoil rotten, okay? And just let me know, be honest, if I overdid it a little too much. I cooked for him every single night, and if he didn't like the meal, I would make him something different. I bought him his favorite Lego sets because he felt bad buying them for himself because they're so expensive. I was a giver in every aspect of our relationship. I created a Spotify playlist of his favorite songs. I scratched his head and back and cuddled him. I was the big spoon. Every single night he came over to my house. I would send him cute messages every single morning telling him how much I appreciated him and how attractive he was to me. All for him to tell me that I was a little too much in suffocating him and really not his physical type, but he was really glad that he gave it a go. My therapist is gonna have a field day with this one. So yeah, I'm back on the market, so who wants to break my heart next?
Yeah, okay, so essentially what this clip here, guys, is it's probably not a reflection of a reality whatsoever. And it's designed to try and bait men into having sympathy for her and flooding her DMs. This is reputation management that modern women like to do at the end of their relationships, if they even had one to begin with. And they like to play these really ridiculous games, right? Totally insane here. So this was clip number one. This woman apparently getting rejected here, which is very damn funny to me. But notice how she says that this is the second time that this has happened to her in a year. Just by the way, being rejected 2 times in a year is absolutely low numbers. But of course, when it happens to women, guys, it is a terrible, terrible misdeed. Now let's continue into the next clip here. This one, actually, guys, might be the craziest one of the entire video. It is so damn stupid that I can't even believe it. And the thing is, I actually believe that this is real as well. It's not one of these ones where I'm like, oh, that probably didn't happen. This one is totally believable to me, at least as far as what I saw beforehand. So check this out. We are going to be getting ready with this woman. We always have to be doing makeup for some reason. Getting ready with this woman while she rants about a 6-year situationship. Chasing a dude with no commitment, sleeping with him for 6 years. Let's jump into it.
Bro, I've been in a situationship for 6 fucking years now. I cannot believe I just said that on camera. But I'm so fucking over it. I'm so over it. Basically, this boy and I started dating when we were in high school. And like, honestly, that shit was so toxic. Like, we were both stubborn as fuck and we would just argue constantly. But anyways, he broke up with me. I was so sad, but then we remained really close friends and eventually just basically continued to date, but without the label. And then we both went to the same fucking college, so we weren't really dating then either, but we continued this whatever the fuck that was going on.
Okay, so let me explain what was going on here. This dude realized that you weren't relationship material because you were a psycho. He threw you out because he didn't want to have a relationship with you. But as many modern women discover, right, getting a relationship with a man and sleeping with him are 2 separate things. So you might be able to hook up with a man, you might be able to have bedroom fun with him. This is not the achievement that modern women think that it is, okay? If you're a woman and you exist and you're not severely overweight, you can do this. Not that damn difficult. But again, trying to get and retain commitment from a dude that you want is going to be a different question entirely. So this woman has been chasing this dude for 6 years. How insane is that? But don't worry, guys. You know, men have to go out here and do all of this crap for modern women because they're so worth it. By the way, most modern women actually have a story like this, and they are in a situationship when you begin speaking with them. Right? That's why they're so vague when you ask them if they're in a relationship a lot of the times, guys. You might notice like street interviews and things like this where people ask women if they are in a relationship and they always struggle to answer. There's like that, it's almost like they're lagging in a video game. You know, there's a slight lag when the input goes in at the start, and then they kind of say, oh no, I'm single, you know, because they realize, oh wait a minute, I've been screwing this guy for 6 months, but still I don't have a relationship. So yeah, I'm single, you know?
So we weren't really dating then either, but we continued this whatever the fuck that was going on. And that shit fucked with my head because it felt so much like a relationship that when I got upset at things, like, which if you're in a relationship, it's totally valid, but because we weren't, it wasn't justified. And so I kept feeling all these things that I wasn't technically allowed to feel because we weren't dating. Like, I've always been
Yeah, so here's what happened. You were jealous because he went and he hooked up with other women because he wasn't committed to you, because why the hell would he commit to you? And again, guys, you've got to ask yourself the question, these women are so damn clinically insane. What is the point of committing to them in the first place, right? They never actually question, hey, what would make me a desirable girlfriend or a desirable wife for a man? They never ask themselves that question. Or how come he chooses to have a committed relationship with Stacy over here, but after 6 years, he never wanted anything serious with me? There's no introspection. There's no self-accountability. It's just being a psycho on TikTok and then being surprised that men don't want to have a relationship with you.
These things that I wasn't technically allowed to feel because we weren't dating. Like, I've always been really shy with like dating and all of that. Like, I don't really know how to flirt. Fuck me, I'm 23 and I can't flirt.
Yeah, I mean, most modern women can't do this at all. You know, I see videos all the time, guys, and women with these attitudes of like, yeah, I'm just so, you know, I'm so smooth. I'm like Casanova. But these women have no idea how to make any. Have you guys ever seen those like dating app experiments where they get a woman to use a man's profile, or just women shooting their shot in general? If you guys have ever seen this, most of them are so bad at this. None of them know how to flirt. None of them know how to start a conversation or keep a conversation going. They just rely on the man to do it. The man typically has to put in all the effort, and when women do put in the effort, it's kind of like it just comes across really damn weird. You know, like they really don't know what the hell they're doing. They expect men to know what the hell they're doing, of course, guys, and if men slip up, they'll roast men for it. But when they're put in the same situation, they have absolutely no idea how to actually make things happen themselves. Why? Because typically they never actually have to make things happen.
I don't really know how to flirt. Fuck me, I'm 23 and I can't flirt. And the thing is, it was on off, but because for me, I was so scared to like meet other people because I was so comfortable in this little like security blanket that is this boy. And I regret not going on dates and like fucking around in college because now I'm 23, I work at home now, so it's not like I can meet people at work. And like, I don't want to do dating apps either because it just feels so forced, and I've heard too many bad stories from friends that like, I'm not doing that shit.
I guarantee you this woman uses dating apps. 100% she does. 100% she was screwing around. But the reason why she doesn't want to make this known, by the way, or didn't at least at the time, I mean, number one, she's trying to preserve people's perception of her now, so that's why she won't let people know now. But the reason why she didn't make it known back then, at least outwardly, was because she knew that this dude would just instantly ditch her, by the way. Despite the fact that this dude's not in a committed relationship with her, he would probably just instantly ditch her as well if she was screwing around with other dudes, right? Especially the dudes who have options, by the way, they just throw the women out, guys. Like, this is why they're so scared to bring up relationship talks. Have you guys ever seen videos like this where women, you know, they want to be in a relationship with a guy, but they never push for it for some reason? The reason why is because they know that as soon as they annoy the guy, he's just going to remove her from his life instantly because she's not that big of a deal. And so they refuse to make a fuss and everything. Now, a lot of these girls, when they get into relationships with a good man, they'll kick up a fuss about absolutely everything because this guy will never leave her. You see what I'm saying, right? The dude who will never leave her, who will give her everything despite her behavior, she will treat like dirt. But the dude who she's in a 6-year situationship with, she won't even bring up the slightest little thing because he knows that he's just going to kick her out immediately.
But anyway, last year of college, we finally dated, which apparently, recently I talked to him about it, and according to him, we weren't even dating back then, but we were doing like the whole flowers, Valentine's Day, all that shit. So like, I don't know what's wrong with him. It has come to my attention, finally. I need to move the fuck on and stop wasting my time on this boy. We broke up the last year of college because of long distance, but now we're in the same city, in the same fucking friend group, and it's so much harder. But fuck this. This year I told myself to stop wasting my time and energy on the people who don't return the same energy back.
She's still going to do it. Just by the way, okay? So, you know, oh, I'm quitting dating apps, or oh, I'm going to stop chasing this guy, or any of these sorts of behaviors that women say that they're going to implement, they never actually do implement them. The only time that they implement them is when they are actively locking down a simp, and even then they continue to still do it because they need to secure security for a bit. You see what I'm saying? They can't afford to screw that up because, you know, they have to work until they're like 70, you see. So the play really has to be quite thought out here. What you usually see is women get into serious relationships and things and marriages when they're pushing 30. But make no mistake, the same behavior that she's doing now will continue, whether that be her cheating in the marriages or in long-term relationships that she has. And notice I said marriages plural. But either way, she'll resume it afterwards anyway. Okay, this is the whole fake healing journey crap that women like to do, guys. They pretend like they're healed. They pretend like they've moved on and everything. Now they know what they want from a man, right? They get their priorities in order. They create lists for what men have to do. They go out here, they date some simp, but make no mistake, they continue chasing the bad boys afterwards. As soon as the relationship dissipates, oftentimes it doesn't even take it for the marriage to end before they're still cheating anyway. They will continue to do the same behaviors that they are saying that they are going to stop doing.
I'm 23, still have not dated anyone else. Like, at this point, I feel like I'm just gonna die alone. All my friends are in relationships too, and it's so cute. I'm like, I want one. Where do people get one? At this point, I feel like I've lost all of my dating skills because I didn't have to use that muscle for like 6 years.
What are you talking about? You never had any dating skills to begin with. And also, women don't need dating skills. What the hell is this? Here's how you date as a woman. Exist, and men will make things happen. Right? The only time women get pissed is if the men that they want aren't trying to make things happen. You see what I'm saying? Because the guys who approach them, a lot of the time, they just think that they're better than these guys. That's really what it comes down to, is they're just pissed that the dudes that they want don't want commitment with them. That's really what it comes down to.
Cute, I'm like, I want one. Where do people get one?
Just by the way, she could have a relationship. Oh, I want a relationship. Where do people get a relationship? Says the woman that's been chasing this one dude for 6 years. I don't know, check your DMs, for example. There'll be dudes in there. I guarantee you it, guys. There'll be dudes replying to her stories and things like this. There will be dudes in there. You know? But she just wants to continue chasing this one dude who clearly doesn't want her for 6 years. Which, by the way, I still think she was hooking up with other guys as well during this time.
At this point, I feel like I've lost all of my dating skills because I didn't have to use that muscle for like 6 years. For the first time in my life, I finally feel like I'm ready to move on and meet other people. I'm just fucking terrified too. I keep saying that I'm only sticking with this boy because of comfort and familiarity, but like, he's not giving me any of that because he's stressing me out so fucking much.
Yeah, of course. Of course. These men, guys, again, they don't chase the men with good qualities. Okay? Contrast this to what women say that they're attracted to, by the way. Oh, I'm attracted to a nice man who provides and cares for me and does all of the things by the book. He has to pay for the dates and make sure I get home safe, or he has to drive me around. He has to plan everything, and so on. These are the types of men that women are quote-unquote attracted to, okay? And then you see real sobering videos like this where women explain what they're actually doing And granted, this is a little bit of an outlier here. 6 years is extensive, even by most modern women's standards. But these are the types of relationships, quote unquote, that they're actually seeking out. You know, situationships that extend a very long period of time. And you mean to tell me that dudes have to come along and be your Prince Charming and save you later on? No. Let's continue. This is a little bit more from this woman.
I just need to rant today, and that's okay. Hot girl rant.
I'm not gonna even entertain that.
Wait, I've been loving brushing my hair like this recently. And just look at that. Anyways, I'm gonna go do some retail therapy. Bye.
What an absolute psycho, guys. What an absolute psycho. Holy hell, yeah, why don't men want to date anymore? No idea. Not a clue, guys. These TikTok videos, again, these are just found at random. I really want to highlight this, guys, by the way. These videos, absolutely everywhere. Check this one out. Next one here. Dating tip from my therapist. Holy hell, I don't know. This woman looks to be in her 30s, late 30s maybe. Dating tip from my therapist. Learn more on Do the Work podcast. She has a podcast, guys. Why does she have a podcast? Here's one of my favorite dating tips that my therapist told me about. Holy hell, let's take a listen.
Here's one of my favorite dating tips that my therapist told me about that I never want you to forget. When you're dating somebody, if you look at them and say, I like them, but that is when you know this person's not for you. I'm not talking about, oh, I just want them to open up a little bit more. Yeah, I can't wait to learn more about them. That's normal. That's dating. But if your conversation is, yeah, he's super great, but he's not ready for commitment, or but he's not really emotionally available, or but I just wish he was more like this, then what you're doing is you're looking at potential and you're not actually seeing the person for who they are. People.
Why does it take, guys, it's crazy, right? It takes women until like 30 plus years of age and going to therapy to realize the most basic crap of all time with dating. So let's check this out, okay? So obviously, if the dude is not ready for commitment or he's not emotionally available, you probably shouldn't be dating the guy. I don't know why we had to go to therapy for this. I don't know why we had to go into our 30s in order to understand these things. It's just so crazy, guys. So damn crazy. He's not ready for commitment or he's not really emotionally available. I mean, you could have just listened to your father, for example, if he was in the picture, any of the men in your life. You know, you could have just listened to anyone who was talking common sense this entire time, except for, you know, you just had to listen to any dude and they would probably tell you that this was a bad idea. But of course, guys, we have to go into a 30 plus. We have to listen to our single friends. We have to hold out hope that Chad's going to commit to us, even though obviously he's not. And so we end up 30 plus and only having these epiphanies now. So stupid, man.
But he's not ready for commitment, or but he's not really emotionally available, or but I just wish he was more like this. Then what you're doing is you're looking at potential and you're not actually seeing the person for who they are. People are not going to change for anybody else besides themselves.
I love how this is like a men thing, right? Like, oh, the men need to change. They're not going to change. It actually has very little to do with the guy and more to do with the fact that he doesn't view you as someone that he is worth committing to in the first place. Have you guys noticed this about these videos? Is the implication always is if a man doesn't want to date a woman, is that he's somehow broken and he needs to change. That's always the way it is. Oh, man doesn't want to get married to me. Well, he's obviously broken. Man doesn't want to have a relationship with me. He just needs to change for himself, and that'll happen in time. Maybe the dude doesn't want to date you because you're crazy. Like we don't ever have discussions about this. Maybe the dude doesn't want to date me because you know, I never valued him until I was 30 years of age, or I'm a complete pain in the ass, or I'm a womanist. I refuse to cook for a guy. I refuse to be nice. My body count is through the roof. We don't ever talk about any of these things. It's just if the man doesn't want to date me, then the man is somehow the problem. That's the theme in so many of these videos, guys. Is it's always the emphasis is always placed not on what the woman is doing wrong or any improvements that she could make that might make her a potential relationship candidate for a guy. The onus is always put on what the dude has to do in order to be worthy of her. And then if he doesn't do it, then the conclusion is that somehow he's deficient. right? Dudes are allowed no agency without any of this shaming to go on. It's really quite crazy.
And while, yes, of course, you can express needs, wants, desires, and see if somebody is willing to match you halfway. But if you're talking about the biggies, like somebody's communication style, their emotional availability, their traumas, and things like that, if you can't look at the person that you're dating and accept them for who they are, then this is not the person that you should continue to pursue. Imagine if somebody did that to you. Oh, I would like her if she did this. Because what that is you're not accepting people as they are. And trying to change them is a moot point. So stop betting on potential.
This is just a lot of stupid language for really. You probably shouldn't just be dating dudes who haven't expressed any desire for commitment whatsoever. That's really what it boils down to, guys. Women love to overcomplicate this stuff with a whole bunch of different language. Imagine a dude, right? Let's just go back here for a second. Imagine a dude giving this exact same speech. It would probably go something like this. Don't date the dudes. Don't give your body to men without commitment. There, problem solved. It has nothing to do with this potential and accepting people how they are and all this bullcrap. Like all these fluff words, man. How about this? Don't open your legs for dudes who haven't given you commitment. That would probably go a long way. Or how about this? Stop trying to date dudes who are out of your league, who are obviously seeing 3,500 different women at the same time. Not that damn difficult, but oh guys, we're just, we're out here looking at potential and the stars are aligning or some crap, and I don't know, we just get lost in the sauce so damn quickly. But speaking of being lost in the sauce, let's continue on to the next clip, guys. And again, as we go through these, guys, I'd really appreciate it if you did leave your thoughts and your comments as well. I do oftentimes these days, at least at the moment, I am reading through comments. So it is interesting to see the thoughts and opinions that you guys leave behind. Oftentimes, I really do miss stuff out of these clips when I'm covering them. They all kind of blend in together for me. It's all one big amalgam of stupid. So if you guys have any points that you would like to make, feel free to do so in the comments. And let's jump to the next thing. So what's this? Frustrating things about men, I assume.
The most frustrating thing about men is the fact that they refuse to acknowledge when they are being flirted with. They'll go, "You're so handsome," and they just go. They look so confused to the point where you're like, they obviously want nothing to do with me. That's okay. Won't do that again. And later you find out they liked you the whole time. So, what?
Men are not purposely refusing to acknowledge being flirted with. Because trust me, even 99% of the time, a man that thinks that maybe you're flirting with him will absolutely, genuinely talk himself out of it.
Yeah, so here's the problem, okay? Most women think that they're making an obvious first move. They really aren't. Women absolutely suck at making their intentions known. They are completely and utterly terrible at it. They expected dudes to be able to just read their minds. And by the way, guys, let's just say, okay, a woman approaches you. She seems like she's really interested in you. You might think that there's an 80% chance that this woman is interested in you, and that's what she was trying to convey to you. So let's just say you reciprocate and you were wrong, right? So that 20% chance turned around and it kicked you in the ass. And now all of a sudden she starts calling people, she starts telling people that you're like a creepy dude who displayed interest in her for no reason. Like your social life can be sabotaged completely in a given area if you are wrong about this as a man. You see what I'm saying? And make no mistake, women do like to make martyrs out of dudes who approach them and stuff, right? Like if a dude is unattractive, it really doesn't take a lot for a woman to consider it just straight up an insult and go about destroying your reputation, accusing you of something you didn't do, or just outlining you as the creepy dude to her friends. And like, let's just say, for example, this is a place that you frequent, okay? Maybe you're like hitting the gym or something like this, or maybe it's somewhere that you go relatively frequently. Maybe it's your work. Why the hell would you risk it in these locations that you're going to be going to all of the damn time as well? There's simply too much risk. And a lot of the times, modern women, although not every single one is going to screw you over in this way, there are certainly a lot of modern women who do actually do this to the point where dudes are just not going to engage with you. I've said this before on the channel, guys, but like, this is, I think approaching women in the gym, for example, terrible idea. even if they seem interested in you. No thanks. You know, you just go there, you do your workout, you leave. Same thing with work. You go there, you do your work, you leave. We're not here to be best friends. We're not here to have these conversations, because oftentimes these conversations can be very detrimental for men. Not that we don't like women, guys, or we hate women or whatever or anything like this. It's just self-preservation and it's common sense. That's really what it boils down to. But let's continue on to the next clip here. Holy hell, this woman's actually terrifying, by the way. Guys, just a bit of a jump scare on this next woman, so don't say I didn't warn you. 3, 2, 1, here we go. If you are in the early stages of dating someone, let's take a listen.
If you are in the early stages of dating someone and you're getting really excited, it can be easy to get ahead of yourself and start picturing your life together and thinking they're the one. But you need to slow down because your judgment might be clouded. You probably have rose-colored glasses on. I saw a creator make a video about 5 things to ask yourself if you think someone's the one. It was really good, so I'm going to share with you and add a couple of my own.
Guys, why is it, man? These women really just love to overcomplicate everything, when really all it boils down to is the man hasn't given you commitment. So why are you planning your life with this guy anyway? You know, it makes absolutely no sense. Again, these women's fathers could have told them, their brothers could have told them, hell, dudes at their probably their local church could, any dude probably could have told them this. But of course they don't listen. So we have like these lists of like here are 5 ways to determine which way a man's eyeball is pointing. It's like, dude, relax. The guy just doesn't want to commit to you, okay?
Number 1, are you proud to have them with you in public? Whether it's with your family, your friends, your coworkers, is the person you're dating someone that reflects well on you and you know could hold their own in a room and you're just proud that they're the person that's with you? Number 2, are you excited to be around them? Even when you're doing the small things, going to the grocery store, cleaning out your closet, if you're still excited to spend time with them, even if it's not a glamorous date, that's a good sign.
What the hell, guys? This is like modern women logic 101, is you have to be excited around your girlfriend or whatever all the damn time, right? And vice versa. So if this woman is dating a dude, then by her logic, she has to be excited all of the time. Like, what the hell? Do these people just live in a constant, what is the word for this? There's like, oh yeah, manic, right? Isn't this like manic behavior essentially, where you're happy or excited all of the damn time? Wouldn't you find this exhausting? Okay, my man, I have to be excited around him all the time. Do you really? Or are you just crazy? Like, who is excited around somebody all of the damn time? And you see, this is why these women are just not cut out for relationships, guys, because it's based on their feelings at any given point in time. Oh, her excitement's going down, guys. Time to find a new man. Yeah, of course you're single.
Number 3, do they have the qualities of being a good parent? Even if you decide to not have kids, you'll probably have kids around you in your life, nieces, nephews, and it's a good question to ask yourself if they're nurturing or protective. They'll be a really good partner and or parent. Number 4, when there's a fun event, trip, or milestone coming up, do you imagine them being part of it? If you're invited to your friend's wedding, or there's a family trip coming up, or there's a holiday, do you picture, oh, this will be nice if they're there with me? If you can't picture them in those future events, it's probably not a good sign. And number 5, will they do well in a crisis or emergency situation?
I mean, are we allowed to apply these things to women as well? Right? Because, I mean, if so, that last point there would just completely disqualify most women. Are you good in an emergent? What is this? Will they do well in a crisis or emergency situation? I mean, are we allowed to apply? Are we doing this whole gendered thing, or are we allowed to apply this to women as well, guys? Because most modern day women, honestly, they'd be more likely to be the reason why you're going through an emergency or a crisis rather than actually help you effectively solve it in any possible way at all. Hilarious. Let's continue here, man.
If you can't picture them in those future events, it's probably not a good sign. And number 5, will they do well in a crisis or emergency situation? What if you got ill and had to be in the hospital? What if you lost a family member? Would the person you're dating be a good support system for you? Would they show up at the hospital? Would they be there for you in the tough times?
I mean, again, are we allowed to, you know, if we're playing this game here, man, are we allowed to apply this to modern women as well? Because holy hell, the amount of women that would be disqualified from this woman's points would just be astronomical. You would have a fraction of modern women left.
Are they just kind of around for fun and shits and giggles? Anyways, just some questions to ask yourself if you think they might be the one.
Thank you, madam. Really appreciate that. Dating advice, guys. Modern women. So let's do a brief run back through some of the clips that we've been through here today. This woman right here, psycho. This woman right here, 6-year situationship. What else did we have in here? This woman who gets dating advice that's really damn obvious from her therapist, but apparently it's a real large epiphany now that she's like, what, like late 30s, probably 40s maybe. This woman here who is trying to bait dudes into her DMs by saying that, you know, her last man, she did everything for him and she's just looking for a man that she could do everything with. Complete nonsense, guys. All of these clips, complete nonsense. Yeah, not very Christmassy today, I'll be honest, guys. Absolutely horrible stuff. We are going to be leaving today's episode there. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments, and I will see you all in the next one, guys. Peace.